All right, so all I've done is download the challenge right here, and I went ahead and I've got the VS Code open up over here, and then I just dragged all the images into a Figma file. They're not actual Figma files. I don't actually have the Pro tier or whatever you need to do that, but I still hope this will be a big help. So as we come in here, you're going to see we've got mobile stacked up, and it looks like I'm thinking this should be pretty easy. I'm guessing these are full images. I haven't actually looked yet. Like I said, I'm trying to just do this from scratch, but this is what we need to build out. This menu will probably be the hardest thing, so let's leave that to the last so we can at least see progress and kind of go from there. All right, when it comes to SASS, the hard thing about SASS and why I don't usually do a ton with it, from the Netherlands, nice. My brother used to live there for several years. The hard thing about building out with SASS is really the benefit of SASS is building out an entire system or structure. And so it's hard to do that live. It's hard to do that quickly. And a lot of the stuff that's actually most helpful with SASS are the kinds of things that you develop once and then just copy from project to project. But what we'll go ahead and do is let's set up some basic spacing. Since I don't have the Figma, we're going to have to guess on this spacing for everything. So we'll just set up some basic kind of spacing structure, some typography structure. Looks like we basically have got 3 levels of text maybe, or 2 levels of text, just this and this. It looks like maybe this is bold, so we can work on that as well. And this is all caps. All right, so this is what we're going to work on. Let's go ahead and jump in. And here we go. I've got just the index file pulled up here. Let's pull up the sidebar here. README, the images, all that kind of stuff. So this is what you get when you download the project itself. Let's see what they give me as far as styling. Okay, so I've got colors, I've got all that kind of stuff. So I think probably the easiest thing to do would be to actually use something called Parcel, because that will allow us to quickly get SASS up and running and get a good dev environment going. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me come over here, Parcel.js, and we'll get started with this. From Czech, nice. Hi Nathan, welcome. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, but good to see you again. All right, so we're going to jump in here, and let's see. I'm just going to grab all this, and see, it should just bundle everything, and we can actually, if we add a browsers list, Parcel will recognize that and actually add auto prefixers to our code as well. So I think that'll be the easiest way to get started. So let's, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and pnpm init-y, or npm init-y. This just sets up a package.json file that allows us to track everything and gives us kind of the default stuff. So here it is right here. And I'll go ahead and throw this up on GitHub when we're done today as well. And then I'm going to use pnpm just because it'll be faster. pm, there we go. And then I'll install Parcel. All right, and then while we're at it, let me go ahead and disable. A lot of times I will code with GitHub Copilot, which is will give us a lot of our kind of pre-filled, easy to know what's going on stuff. Let's go ahead and just disable it though, so that way we're actually doing this live from scratch rather than like just waiting for it to pre-fill for us. Okay, so we've got that set up. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and paste in. I think I copied those scripts. No, I didn't. All right, so let's go ahead and grab all of this right here and add this. We don't have an index.js file, so it's going to scream at us if we do that. So let's take this, and we don't have an src folder the way I've got this structured, so I'll just do it at the root here. This is going to add auto prefixers when we need it, and it'll actually install this once we start to run Parcel. And then this start script is going to look up here at the source, and we'll start the Parcel dev environment. So we'll say pnpm run Parcel, or run start. All right, so there we go. We've got something up and running, and you can see I've got it right here on host 1234. So that's actually pulling up on this other screen. Let me add it in here, and then let's do this. Let's pull this over here, split these two so we can see what's going on. All right, now what we can do is just come in here and add a style.css, or SCSS actually, and then we should be able to run stuff and add it over here. So all I have to do, even though you can't normally do this in normal HTML, I can just link this style sheet. So if I do link.css and do SCSS like that. All right, so it'll actually transpile it. You can see it's doing that now, and it should have actually noticed that we wanted SASS, so it adds that to it automatically. So you don't have to add anything special, and it should use this browsers list to give us some auto prefixtures. I think that's what it does, if I remember correctly. Either way, what we should be able to do now is just come in here and write normal CSS. So I'll do after, and let's go ahead and grab our before, like that. And then we'll do margin 0, padding 0, padding 0, and then border, box sizing, border box. Okay, so we'll just do a real basic clear there. And now you see that this changed already for us. All right, let me shut some other stuff down here. Okay, so let's go ahead and just think through kind of what we might want as far as kind of templating stuff we might need. I guess let's leave this up here. Now, normally, like the other benefit of SASS is being able to group stuff and then, kind of import items as you need them. If I do that, that's literally all we're going to do today is set this up, and we won't get to any of the code. So I'm just going to use SASS for basic nesting and then set up some basic styling that we'll use. So let's go ahead and start. There's actually something I like to use. Let me see if I've got it open over here. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is something I actually just found the other day by Jacob Gorowski that I've been using for several projects, and it's been really fun. So basically what you do is you declare some sizes. So let's do that. And if I remember right, they usually give you size. Okay, so 375 and 14. So let's use these. And then I'll come in here. And actually, let's just copy it like this. So this is 375 right here. And we'll set this large one to the 1440 pixels. And then, yeah, that's fine for the medium. All right, so the way this works is you can basically write inline styles like this. And what you're saying is, hey, we're gonna include this mix-in that he's got below here. Here's the property, here's the default value, and then here's what they should be each breakpoint. And it just will compile that in your CSS. So it's nice to be able to do it like this rather than writing out media queries, and you kind of keep everything in line. So I've really been enjoying it, and it's been a big help. Here it is right here. So let's just go ahead and copy this and add this in here. Like I said, a lot of the biggest helps when it comes to SCSS is just kind of finding things that work and then leaving them alone and using them. So let me walk through this with you. I actually usually change mine to min media just because that makes more sense to me. And then I have a max media one I use too. But you've got a default property or property name, value, media query. This is the mix-in itself. And then this is how it's used. So it's going to compile it to where it's going to give you, first of all, a property and then the default value. And then for each breakpoint that you pass in up here, which should correspond to these, so small, medium, large, or whatever you decide to name these, then it's going to say, hey, for each of these, go ahead and create a media query where you just set it at that breakpoint, and then you give it a property name and value. So this is what it's going to actually put out for us. And just to see it work, let me come in here, and I'm going to use a little shortcut thing I made. So let's see if I can get that. I might need to pull it up on this other screen. Okay, so here's what I have in Keyboard Maestro, and it's nothing fancy, just a basic form. But let's say we use the display property, set the default to block, but then say maybe let's do at small screen sizes. We will maybe medium screen sizes, just so we can see both here. We'll set this to none. All right, so it's just going to add it in just like this. And like I said, I named my min query. I thought it was min media. All right, so min query like that. And now if I come over here, see right here. So if I get small, and then when I get above that 800, it's gone, all right? Because I set display none above 800. So anyhow, I've really been enjoying that. So that'll be the only one we copy in, and then maybe let's try to write everything else, but I wasn't going to remember how to do that. So yeah. All right. Oh, hey, welcome everybody. I'm seeing more comments. My screen was pulled away to something else. Hey, yeah, take your exams. Don't watch this, please. Hey, Jimmy, welcome. Welcome, Luke. Good afternoon. All right. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed Reveal.js. Yeah, that's been a really fun framework to use. Okay, so we've got a basic mix in here ready for default screen sizes. Let's go ahead and set up some text fonts, just sizes. So here's what I usually do. I'll set it like a base here, and then you can just create maps in SASS. So let's create some maps, and let's just use a 4-point scale, which is typical for like a lot of frameworks like Tailwind and other things like that. Let me go ahead and kill this bottom section. give a little more room here because we don't really need to see over here yet. Okay, so for these sizes, let's go ahead and just, I guess let's just name them like 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. And what I'll do is take the base and multiply it. And in SASS, you don't have to do like calc or anything like that. So we'll do like 0.25. And then let's just copy this down a bunch of times. And let's change this to 0.5, 0.75, and 1. So that's a pretty normal, it's a pretty standard way to do this. Actually, let's make this faster. So I'm going to copy this down like this. Let's do 4, something like that. Then what I'll do is grab all these, hit Option Command and the down arrow, grab all those, erase them, and I've got something called text pastry. In fact, I've used it recently, so if I just hit enter there, it'll give me 1 to whatever cursor I've got. And then I should be able to come in here, and for all of these, change these to 1, this to 2, 2, 2, 2, all of these to 3, and this to 4. All right, so we haven't used this at all, and I haven't added a semicolon, so it's yelling at me. All right, so now let's go ahead and write, let's write a kind of a base styling we can use to create our own templating language. And in fact, we'll just do it like Tailwind, I think, because there's no reason to try to recreate something live. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and set some directions. Yeah, let's do this. So we'll do directions, and then I'm just gonna give it a bunch of different kind of areas. So we'll use inline. Inline, let's use block, inline, what is it? Inline start, inline end, block start, and block end. So what we're doing is just declaring some things we can now loop through. So inline would be left and right, block is up and down, so X, Y, start would be top for most languages and stuff, inline end is bottom, block start is, oh no, sorry, this is left, this is right, top and bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and write a loop here. And in SASS, you do this with the each function, I guess. And then we're going to say we want each. And let's start with our sizes. Yeah, so let's say for each size. And then we'll do, we'll just grab the size value. We can call this whatever we want, but I'll call it the size value in, and then we point to our map, which would be our sizes. And then here's our function. So what we're going to say is we want it to have the class padding. So we'll do padding and margin for both of these here. It's 33, not 31. Hey, thanks. That could have thrown off some stuff. See, we all do better when we just code together. So thanks, Jimmy. Okay, so we're going to grab the padding here. And what I want is whenever I have a P as a class name, and then you can do and, which is basically like a, I don't know if it's really a parent selector, but basically what I'm doing is saying, hey, combine this with what's above, and then I'm going to give it my size, which is this right here. So the numbers on the left. And to grab this and interpolate it, let's see, you need, I always forget how to do this. I think it's like this. We'll see in a second here. Size like this. And then we're going to say we want it to be padding and same thing. So I think it's like this. Value. Okay, so let's see if we did this correctly. No, we didn't. All right. Let's see. What am I doing wrong here? I think I'm not really, I guess I can just grab it plain like that, right? Oh, size value. Hey, there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull it up over here. The way Parcel works, if I remember, yeah, and not until you finally build does it actually create the CSS in your code editor, but we can come over here and just inspect the network tab. So let's do that. Did I not hook it up? Yeah, here it is. Okay. Give me everything you got. It's clearly coming over, but I'm not seeing it here. All right. Is it hooked up properly? Style. Here it is. This is what I want to see right here. I filtered. Oh, here it is. There we go. Okay, so padding, this is what we want. Padding 1 is that, padding 2 is that. Okay, so cool. So we've got all that set up. We can actually just now copy this down, actually right in here, and do the same thing for margin. So we're just getting some default stuff set up to use. And this is kind of the benefit of using SASS, is you can very quickly spin up an entire environment. And there you go. So margin 1, oh, I don't want it like that. Oh yeah, I do. I just want to change this to margin, margin like that. Okay, so now I should have margin and padding available to me. That's all the way around. Now what I want to do is I'll also loop through these directions. So inside here, let's do another each loop, and we'll say for each, let's call them dir in directions like that. Then let's see. So it would be at the same level. Okay, yeah. So then I want it to loop through the top, bottom, right, left, right? I think that's how it's going to go. So we'll just do it right up against here. And we'll take the dir, which is our direction, dash, and then same thing up here. So the size. All right, so that's what I want. So in other words, it'll be like PT-4 or whatever. So padding top 4. And then I'll just say padding, and let's see, we'll take the, I guess I'm going to need access to the value as well. You know what? So I need to actually shift this up. So let's do this. Let's grab all of these here, like this. All right, and then what I want is for each of these to have a value that they're pointing to. So we'll have, so inline will be X, up and down will be Y, start top, bottom, left, and nope, that's wrong. This is left, this is right, this is top, and this is bottom. So this is just how these things are going to work anyhow naturally. And then this needs to be wrapped, let's see, in parentheses, this and like this. So this is just a map in SASS. All right, so I think we're good there. Did I do all that right? I think so. These probably need to be in quotation marks though. So let's do that. If you're working on a project, I'd love to know what it is. I know that setting up SASS is not exactly exciting to watch, but I hope it's still a help to you. These are the kinds of things that just take some time, but once you get them set up, you can use them in every project, assuming that you want, you know, utility classes like this set up. Okay, so back down here, let's now grab, let's see, we're going to do we need the value right here. So let's call this like dir value or something in directions. All right, so over here is what we've got. Let's grab our padding.dir value. So like padding inline block or padding block or whatever is what it's going to read out. And then we want that to be our value from up above. Nope, switch those around. All right, so if we did all that correctly, which we didn't because it's yelling at us like crazy, dir value. All right, like that, I think. Is that right? Why do you... Spelling, capitalization, all these things. Same thing here. Size value. I did that earlier. Welcome to Spelling with Chris. All right, here we go. Did we do it right? No, we didn't. Okay, so we're so close. Like I said, I don't really write this stuff live very much at all. I usually just copy down what I have because there's no use in redoing it every time. But now you can see that like X3 is going to get us padding inline left and right. Block is Y. So suddenly we've got hundreds of lines of code and we've just set up all of our padding, and we can do the same exact thing for our margin down below. So let's do that. Let's see, inside here like that. And then I'm just going to change this to margin. And now we've probably got, what, 600-700 lines of code. So if we did this right, that should all be correct. And now we've got a 4-point scale set up and ready to go. Barcina, thanks for the help. I didn't see it in time, but thank you. Okay, so we've got that set up and ready to go. Let's go ahead. Let's just do some other quick things, and then let's actually get to building something just to kind of show you how else we could use SASS here. So I've got this set up here. Let's go ahead and grab, maybe let's just grab some basic display properties, and let's just set those up too. So this, we don't need any, we don't need a key value pair. We can just list these out. So we'll do like block, none, inline, inline block. We'll do flex and grid. So let's just loop through all of these. So we'll say for each, we'll call it display in displays. Displays. What I want is the property name. So I guess that would be dot, and then we'll interpolate here the display. And I just want it to say display of display, right? Yeah. So of display. Okay, like that. All right, if we did that correctly, probably at the bottom down here, we should have, here we go. So like just the class of grid is going to be display grid, flex, all that kind of stuff. So we might set up a couple other things like that, but you can see how now we're basically setting up a utility system that we can use. Let's go ahead and grab our colors though, because that'll actually be useful to get these set up and ready to go. So let's grab all of these. And then after this, we'll just go ahead and start building it out. And that will be all the SASS we do aside from nesting. So let's copy these in. Oh boy. Okay, so let me grab all these with Command D. And let's get these all on their own line. And then let's see if I can grab all these. Actually, let's grab these right here. And let's actually erase. We're going to have to name these somehow. So I'm just trying to get them set out to where we can actually see what's going on. Where's my divider here? Come on. macOS, what you doing to me? There we go. Okay, get out of here. All right, so let's go ahead and name these. So I'm going to call this my accent, and all we're doing is creating a colors map. So let's say colors, and then point to here. Okay, so here we go. Accent. We'll call this accent. Maybe we should just call this red, yellow. Well, no reason in complicating this. And I think these are going to need to be in parentheses or quotation marks. And then these need commas after them. Time to work again. Fair enough, Jimmy. Thanks for joining. Dark saturated design text. So I'm guessing, let's see. Are these like the heading? Oh, down here maybe? So we'll do like, let's see, we've got a text here. I'm not sure what color that is. This looks similar. So this is probably a lighter color, lighter version of that color, maybe. So, and it looks like yeah, okay, so there we go. So I've got like a photography text. What is that? Maybe right here. And then a footer text. Or that's the footer background maybe. All right, so we're just gonna have to name these some kind of random color. So let's do like green dark, maybe. And we'll do the same thing for here. Let's call this blue, because we don't really have any other blues. I mean, these say they're blue, but they're all like super dark. So let's do that. All right, and I need this here. And then this we're gonna call green light. And then let's see, here are our neutral colors. So I don't know exactly what this color is, because again, I replaced this accidentally. Okay, so this is, let's just call this like, these are neutral. So let's just call this like neutral 1, 2, 3, and 4 or something like that. So let me erase these, and that will speed us up too, because we can use text pastry again. Now we'll leave that at white, but let's grab all these and say neutral dash, like that. Okay. neutral 1. Let's just group them like this. All right, and then at the end of these, I need these to all be commas. And then I guess I also need all of these to have ending quotation marks. All right, so if we did all of that correctly, we've got, make sure I got all those set up right. Okay, I think those will all work for us. And I've got a extension grabbing these and giving them colors too, which I don't really need, but that's okay. I think that should all be correct. Now let's come in here and let's grab my colors and we'll say each, first of all, and we'll call this color name maybe. And then we've got our color value in colors. So for each of these, what do I want? Well, let's get a background color first of all. So BG, and then inside here, we'll do and dash. And then what I want is, so like background red or background yellow or whatever. So we'll grab, see this, and we'll say color name. And so like BG green light or whatever like that should be background color. And this should be, I guess, just our color value plain. Okay, so that should work. Oh, it just died on me. Well, it's probably because I ignored it and didn't listen to any of its errors, which that would make sense. Okay, there we go. So if I come in here, scroll all the way to the bottom, there we go. So I've got all these background colors now, except those values don't look right. So maybe it's the spacing I've got. Because those shouldn't be, maybe it's just like this. Let's see. All right, maybe. Let's grab this again, jump down to the bottom. Is that any better? No. All right, let's just get rid of, oops. Let's get rid of these right here and here. And let's just do 2 and see if that changes anything. I just forget how exactly you got to set that stuff up. I mean, this is live coding, so okay, so that is working. So let's just erase all of these. Oops. And while I do that, I'd love to know what's your experience in web dev. If you're listening, are you new to it? Is this a job for you? You know, I'll show my cards. I'm not a professional developer. I don't have professional training. I just taught myself over the last couple of years, and I find teaching through stuff helps me. And somehow lots of you have found me. I'm not sure how, and I definitely don't deserve to have this many people listening, but I hope it's a help to somebody, and maybe me being a beginner, relatively speaking, is helpful to kind of hear from somebody like that. All right, so I've got all this set up now. Now what we can do is use the exact same thing and set up text colors as well. So that means I can just come in here and let's say if we want it to be text with that color name, let's now just change this to color like this. And suddenly we've got hundreds of lines of code, 800, 900 lines of utility classes built out for us. So there's our colors now coming in. Here's our text colors coming in. So we should be able to use this all throughout the document. I don't actually have any font sizes set up, so maybe we should do that too, but I don't think we've got too many. So I don't think we need to overly complicate this. It says 18, I think. Is that what I saw? I thought I saw a typography size. There you go. All right, so body font 18. Are these the same? Those look pretty close. And then those are the other two. So maybe we've got 3 different sizes. Let's come up here. 4 maybe? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and see, I'm not sure which one that is. Maybe the same as that. Let's spread out some more. So we're going to have some different types that we're going to be setting up. So let's go ahead and let's set it up for basically a 4-type system. We're going to just double it every time. So we'll have 2 at 18. So these can be the same font size. This one will be 32. This one will be 64. 1, 2, 3. Do I have another one? Okay, here. So we'll do like 24. So let's do something like that. And in fact, let's use something I've used before, utopia.fyi, to set up some of this fluid type. Let's see, where's this? Fluid type calculator. So we'll set this at the 1440 since that's our largest, and this will be 375. And we will start this at 18, and we'll start this at maybe 20, something like that. And let's set these both on the same, maybe not the same type scale. Make that one a little bit bigger. All right, now what we can do is just come down here and grab this clamp and copy out all this, and let's actually use SASS to compile a bunch of utility classes for this as well. So let's paste these. Actually, let's say text size or something like that. So we'll do fonts, or nah, that's not right. Text sizes, something like that. And then we'll paste these in here. All right. Hey, thanks, Newton. That's kind of you. I find it hard to agree with that because I don't think I deserve to have that many people watching, but I'm glad you think so. That's what's important to me. All right, so we come in here and let's grab 1 to 8, something like that. And then we'll just grab these clamp properties. So let's see, I don't need all of this though. So if we stop at, let's just skip every other one, I think, maybe. So this is font size, right? So 18, 21, so 25, 30, yeah, so let's do it like that. Except let's add 2 extra up top. And let's grab these and copy them in. And then call this 9. And we'll call this 10. All right, and then these all need to be commas. Okay, so I think we've got that set up properly. Maybe, sort of. And let's see. We ran into this before where I added these and we don't need them. So let's not make that same mistake again. So we've got all those set up, I think. And if I put that in, okay, there we go. And what we said is every other one. So starting at, maybe let's keep a small size around in case we need it. So let's call that small. And then let's call this medium, or yeah, medium works. So this is our normal font size. Maybe it was 3 that was our normal one. I just want my 1 rem. Where's my 1 rem at? 1 point. That's fine, I guess. Or we could use this one. I wonder how it set this up over here. 18 and 20 is my third one in. So this is step 0, which is 1.3. Okay, so I was good. All right, back to what we were doing. Let's put it back like that. And then this can be large. Now let's see. So our mediums are smallest. Then we'll have large. Then we'll have extra large. Not here. Let's skip one. Extra large, and then this will be our 2XL. 2XL. All right, cool. So that seems really big for this. Did I copy the wrong one? All right, 4, 6. Copy this 7 point. Why is this so big now? You just like scaled it a ton, but I guess maybe that's right. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's just leave it there and we'll see it when we see it. All right, one last loop through and then we're going to leave this stuff alone as promised. So we'll say for each, we'll just do size or font size and font value in text sizes. Oh, come on, Chris. Let's call these all the same thing at least. So let's call these both text size, text value, and text sizes. Sure, that'll work. So for each of these, what we want is to be able to create some utility classes here. So, and maybe what we should do is point these to actual variables. so we can use them elsewhere too. Let's leave it alone for now. We don't need to use variables if we're going to set these up anyhow. So what I want is text dash, right? So we'll do text dash, and then let's name these whatever their name is. So again, that would be like this, and we're going to say text size. So like text dash small should be font size of, let's see, text value. Right? Let's see what happens. All right, let's come over here, refresh, scroll down. Work for me. Hey. Okay, so now we've got this set up. That only took forever. It would have been faster to type that out, but there we go. Okay, so I think let's go ahead and call that good, and then we can add a lot of utility classes with this. All right, so what are we actually doing? We are creating this, believe it or not. So even though we've been going for quite a while now, I don't know how long exactly. Looks like 40 minutes just setting up. That is using SASS, so that's just how it works. Most of it is setting up a bunch of utility classes. Obviously, you'd want to use some kind of purge, like CSS purge or something, to get rid of all the ones you're not going to use. Otherwise, you're just going to have a massive style sheet. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Let me go ahead. Let's see, where are my images? So let me reveal this in the Finder, and that's showing up in the other window just so I can see exactly what we've got over here, so I can actually use it and know what we need. Okay, so let's come in here to our index.html. Title, that's fine. Let's get rid of all this. And see, they give me all this text. I also don't really want that. So let's structure this thing out and see, let's maybe break this away and add this up here so we can kind of see what's going on. So we've set all this up with our media queries and everything to be mobile first. So let's be mobile first. Let me hide panel, hide UI. There we go. Okay. Just to minimize that. Can I not get any smaller than that? Okay, well then I didn't need to do that. All right. So what we're going to have is a nav bar up here. We'll have a header. And then let me look on the other screen here. Oh, so it looks like all of these are just images. Interesting. Cool. All right, well, hopefully that means we can go relatively quickly. So I'm going to have nav bar up here. Let's just kind of scaffold this out. Then we'll have a header. And then I'll put everything else inside of a main tag. And that's where we'll have all these other sections. So let's see the best way to do this. Oh, I thought I turned off GitHub Copilot. Disable for HTML. All right, we don't need it scaffolding stuff out for us. It doesn't know what we're building, hopefully. If it does, we've got other problems. So let's go ahead and add the nav items up here. And I think, let me come into my other screen here. I'm assuming they've given me some kind of logo. Yeah, so we're going to have a logo here, and this will be inside of a link. So we'll just point this back to the home screen. And because it doesn't have text that you can read, we need to add an ARIA label. And we'll say go home or something like that. And then inside here, see, we've got our image, and I'll just point this to my images and logo. Okay. And we'll call this Sunnyside logo. And then we've also got, how does this work on desktop? Let's get over here. So we've got these spread justify content space between. So how do we want to do that? I guess let's structure this. I think how I usually do these is these would all be in one item and one parent along with this button. And then we just show or hide the button or show or hide this section. All right. So basically we've got one section, one thing here inside of a nav bar itself. And maybe because we want this to be held in the middle here, let's go ahead and wrap this with a utility class we'll call container, and we'll set that up here. Actually, let's go ahead and do it now so I don't forget. So we'll call this container, and I'm just going to write normal CSS here, and this will be width 100%. We'll just do max width of, I don't know what that would be. If that's 1440, maybe this is like 1350 pixels, something like that. And then we'll do margin inline auto. So we'll use it like that. Okay, so everything should stay in the middle here. Oops. And then because these will be flex, and we've got our flex property already set up, or class already set up, I can just add it just like that. Now we could do like justify space between, set up all those utility classes, but at some point we're going to have to actually write normal CSS or SCSS down below. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and we'll just give this a class of navbar. I can, however, see, I can't even really use my utility classes for the colors here because I'm going to change them, I'm assuming, on mobile. Where's my mobile menu? Here we go. So yeah, these need to change. So we'll have to set that up to where we can actually access those values inside of our normal CSS. Should we go ahead? No, let's just leave it like that. Okay, so we've got that link. This is the first thing. This is all the way on the left over here on desktop. And then we need to think through the structure on desktop, even though we're starting mobile first. So what we're going to have is another section here. Let's call this menu container or something like that. That's a horrible name. Let's see. Let's call this navbar items, I think. Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. And then let's come in here, and we're going to have two things. We'll have a UL, and we'll call this nav links. Oh, that's not how you spell links. And then inside here, we will have lists here. Let's set these to a role of none, because inside, let's see, this needs to have a role of nav bar. That's not right. Menu item, a menu bar. Here we go. So menu bar, and then inside each of these, we're going to have menu. Let's see. These are links like this that will point to random places, and we'll have a role of menu item. And what this does is it allows assistive technology to actually understand this as a menu itself, and that these are items in the menu, and doesn't mistake these LIs for the sub items. At least that's how I understand it. If I'm wrong there, somebody let me know. So I guess this would actually be about. And for now, let's point all these to the home page, because there's obviously nothing going on. Role menu item, I can use this to style. That means I don't also need this class. I can just use the menu bar. When you do ARIA labels, like I think for me, a lot of times it's like, I don't want to add extra stuff, but when you actually label stuff correctly, then you're just not adding random classes, and you actually have something meaningful here. Obviously, if you have more than one menu bar, then you'd have to add a class to distinguish it, but I think if you do it properly, you can set it up like that, and it works. All right, so let's go ahead and copy this down a couple times here, and we'll change this to services, and this to projects, and this to contact. Now, obviously, these are all the same, and that other one isn't. Let's see how it is on mobile. So same basic thing. So they all are the same except for one. So let's just set the role menu item as our default, and then we'll add a class to this final one. And this will be our class of button. I don't think we've got any other buttons that I can see, so that'll be the only one we're styling. Okay, so we've got that set out as far as the HTML is concerned, assuming that I did that correct. We'll see when we get over there. Outside the UL, or I guess before the UL, because I want to use a sibling selector, I'm going to have a button. This needs to have an ARIA label of open menu. Like that. And then inside here, I'm assuming I've got some kind of SVG images. Mobile, maybe? Nope. Let me look at my other screen. Oh, you know what? I think it was in my images folder. Images, hamburger. There we go. All right, and I don't really need an alt tag on here because they don't need to know what it is. They just need to know it's a button. So let's do ARIA hidden equals true, and I think that means it won't try to read it out if they try to access it. We'll have to check that out if we have time. Okay, so let's say we've got that done, and then we'll just hide and show this button, and then move this thing up and down, which we probably, I don't know if we're going to get to today because I've only got maybe an hour or so, maybe not even that much before kids wake up and stuff. So we'll see what we can do. All right, so if we come down here inside this header area, we've got We Are Creatives, and then I'm guessing, let me look at my image down here. It doesn't have an arrow, so I'm guessing I've got an SVG arrow that I can add. So we can set this up as a background image. We could also just position absolute the whole thing. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's come in here. We need an H1. This H1, actually, let's do this in the middle here. So we'll have a class of grid. And then what we should do is let's set up some utility classes for gaps too. Since we've already got sizes up here, right here, let's come in here, each size. Above this, we'll say gap, and then let's copy in this. Size will be our gap of whatever that is. Okay, so I think that will enable us to set this up just like gap 4 or something like that, which is 1 around the way we set it up on a 4-point scale. So now a grid gap, and then we will have to add some extra stuff here. So we'll just call this like hero or something like that. And then this should say, first of all, H1, and my class here, I want it to be text large. That's my biggest one. And then I also want it to be text white. And this is the advantage of setting up all those utility classes, is you can kind of stick in your HTML and not have to go back and forth. So let's do this. We Are Creatives. And then let's do a capitalize, or we'll just leave that alone and just capitalize our H1. We also are going to need our font families. Let's see, we've got 2. Weight 600, so Barlow, and I'm not sure which is which. Hey, yeah, I'm happy to give you my opinion. You are more of a developer than I am if you've been doing it for 3 years, so I'm happy to do whatever I can to help, though. So let's set up some utility classes for those different families over here. And this doesn't need to be SASS. It can just be whatever. Let's just come down here and we'll say font, or let's do family heading, or let's do font heading like that. Font family, and this will be whatever that is. And then we'll do font body for the rest. Like that, and that will be whatever that is. And it's going to yell at us till we figure it out. So let's just go ahead and do that now. And let's see, where are we at? Right here. And what do they say we need? 7 and 900. Let's clear that first of all. Come in here and grab our 7 and 900. We'll copy this over. Right here. Is it better to do your website with HTML, CSS, or using a homemade CMS like Angular? I think it really depends on your use case. If I'm the one coding it and I'm the one updating it, I would much rather just write it myself and not have to worry about a CMS. I've never used Angular, so I don't know. Obviously, you know, it's a popular framework and been around forever. So, but if you have other people updating it, it is helpful to have some way for them to access it, and that's where you get into content management systems. So I think it's more the use case and who's going to be updating it, how frequently it'll be updated. For me, it's easier just to update the code, and that way I also touch the code pretty frequently. I'd rather do that, but you know, that's just me. If it's other people again who are going to be accessing it, then I would typically reach for something that allows them to do that. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know if that helps, but there you go. Barlow, let's grab this, and I think we just need the 600. And I'll grab it like this. Okay, cool. So back over here, this is our font family, Barlow. So font body and font heading, those should be set. I do need to import these, so I probably should have not gotten rid of the other one, because now I don't remember what it was called. Frances or something. Fran. That doesn't seem right. Let's just copy this. Fron. I missed the U. All right, here we go. And now I got to re-add these, sorry. 700. 900. Let's just import these in the style sheet directly up top. This thing's kind of a mess the way we set this up. I should have been doing comments throughout. But even so, we've written 148 lines and have more than probably 1,200 lines of code at this point. I don't know. All right, so we've got those set. Let's come back in here and say font. Font heading. All right, and that should set that off. And then we've got an arrow below here. So we'll do an image with images. Is there an arrow? There we go. And we'll do down arrow. I mean, this is purely decorative, so really it could be already hidden unless we want to make it to where they can click and scroll down. Nah, let's not do that. All right, so we'll do already hidden equals true. And again, I think that will hide it from screen readers. I need to double check on how exactly that works because I remember reading something where it doesn't read that way. You have the same opinion. Awesome. Hey, thanks so much. That's very kind of you. All right, and then let's go ahead and add the image, the absolute image right here. And since we've already been adding all these things up top, display, let's do the same thing here, except let's do properties. So get out of here. So we'll do property, property. There we go. So we'll do each prop, and this will be the prop, like that. What did I do? No, that's right. I just want this to be position. And this should be positions. That's why I was messing this up. Positions. Positions, and this could be for each position. And then this could have been position too. But that way we could just access relative and absolute, which again, that probably would have been faster just to write in normal CSS. But assuming we did all that correctly. Is this yelling at us? Oh, it doesn't like us. All right, let's come back over here and see what's going on. Hides it from accessibility API. Okay, that's what I thought. Thanks, Barcino. That's how I've always used it, so it's good to know that I've done that correctly. Oh, we just have to add an image. So images, and this is going to be our, let me go on my other screen to see what it's called. Imagery, image header. So mobile, and then image header right here. Okay, cool. And this is a background image. I don't remember how that works with accessibility, if they can access those or not, but let's just do like orange or something like that, because that's what it is. Now we need to switch this out depending on if it's mobile or desktop. So maybe we should just be adding that as a background image. So let's just do that. All right, let's actually break away from this for a second. And let me add this over here. And let's get rid of this and pull this up. Refresh. Okay, there we go. Let me get rid of all this stuff down here. Maybe not. Let's not get rid of it because then we're going to run into trouble. But let's go ahead and come over this way and start styling out this header area. So let's first of all get a section for our nav, and then we'll get a section for our header. We'll grab both of these, and hopefully some of the lower sections will be set up properly. Maybe we can set up some more utility classes to get that a little faster, but I'm enjoying myself, so hopefully this is fun for you too. So let's come in here, and let's grab our nav first of all, and let's see. We also probably want over here position. I guess I could have also done fixed. That, and then we could come up to our nav here and add a class of fixed. At some point you just end up like building out Tailwind, and at that point you should probably just use Tailwind. I like to write my own CSS. That's my preference, so you know, as much as I can. That's what I try to do. So I don't usually set up a ton of utility classes like this, but since people ask for SASS, that's what we're doing. So in here, we've already got that flexed. Let's do a width of 100%. Let's do background color here just to make sure it's actually coming through. Okay, so there we go. Which means I must have something left in this HTML up top. This title. I wonder why this is showing up here. It's below the head. Did I not close out the head properly? Do I have my site somehow randomly showing that? I'm not really sure. It's kind of weird. All right, well, let's not worry about it. So we've got that set. We don't actually want a background color on this, so we're going to leave that alone. And right now, actually what I'm going to do is just hide this so we don't have to worry about it. And then what I want is to grab my header. And first of all, I want a background image. And this will point to my images, mobile, and a header. Like that. And there it is. Cool. And let's see. I don't think I need to access that right now. And let's get rid of this so we can actually see what's going on. Actually, maybe let's do this. Let's actually make it truly mobile and set it to the 375 it's supposed to be at. Okay, cool. Now, as far as the height, because I need that full image to show, as a background image, it's not going to have a default height to it. Neither will it as... Trying to think the best way to do this. So we could either have it as a background image that switches out when we get to desktop. We could have it as an absolute positioned image, which again wouldn't have any height to it. We could have it as the actual image and then overlay the text. But then switching it out is a little more difficult since we're having to switch it out in our HTML. Or, maybe what we can do... No, that's not going to work. So I don't usually do background images like this because usually it just ends up making either to where you can't have any text in the area because it's super hard to read, or unless it's like maybe just a background image, but partial file, ton of utility classes, yeah. You used in your HTML. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. That's cool. Hey, you're French. No worries. You should... I know like 3 words in French because I'm American and we typically know English and that's it, unfortunately. That is cool to know though. I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that. All right, let's come back in here then and let's go ahead and grab this. And I think what I want to do is let's go ahead and just use that mixin that we created up top. And we're just going to use a background image and we'll worry about the size by doing 100% view height or something like that. Viewport height. So I've got this class here, again, media min, and I'll pull this back up here. So we'll say for the background image here, I want the default to be that. And then at my large screen size, I want to switch this to my desktop folder. And assuming I did that correctly, let's see, get rid of that and get rid of that. And that, I think. Let's see. Did we do this correct? Let's set this just a background. What is going on over here? I think I just copied in too many things. All right, so let's redo this. I want that, and this is my default, and this as my backup. And we'll just change this to desktop. All these fancy mix-ins, and now I'm not getting this to work properly. What am I doing wrong here? All right, let's copy this in one more time, and then if we can't get it to work, we won't worry about it. So media min here, I'll pull this back up. We'll do background, and that will be our default. And at the large, this will be our desktop. All right. Not sure what I did there, but basically what it should do is switch over to our other one once we get to desktop size. Oh, I still have my sample one in right here. I don't need that. All right, so it should switch over to our other image. Not that you can see. You see it flash in there. That happens when we load in that other size. So let's set this back to 375. All right, and then let's go ahead and just set this to a min height of 100 view height. And that should get most of our stuff in. And then what we can do, let's set this to background image. And then let's set background repeat to no repeat, and background position. We'll set this to, let's see, center. And then background size will be, I guess, cover is what I'd want. All right, so assuming we did that correctly, there we go. That kind of looks correct. Let's come back over here. Yep, I'd say that looks correct. Now we've got some letter spacing things going on there. So let's go ahead and grab up above here. Let's do some typography stuff. Comma was missing. Thanks. I knew something was off. Let's do typography up here, and let's grab our H1. And remember, I think we already added the font family. Yeah, because it's there. Let's do letter spacing. And again, you could set up utility classes for these. At some point, I've got to start writing this, though, or we're never going to finish anything. And then, let's see. Did I already set the size? Text size 2XL is what that needed to be, because that didn't look big enough. So back in our HTML. Oh, I just did large. I mean, we aren't even close. Whoa. XL. Let's call that good. Then I come back in here. Now let's do 1 pixel, like that. Okay, cool. Now let's see. We've also got our hero section in here, and maybe what I should do is start nesting these a little bit. I think nesting usually just messes you up if you're using it extensively. As soon as you get on larger projects, suddenly you've got things you're nesting constantly and trying to find and track down. So I don't love to do tons of nesting. Let's see, here's our hero section right here. And it's already display grid, so let's just justify content center. Or actually, let's just do place items center. All right, that puts everything in the middle. And then let's see how we want to do this. I guess if we just do min height the same, that should put everything in the middle, and this should be place, let's see, place content center now, and place item center. All right, there we go. So now everything's in the middle. We can probably work on that gap a bit. We've got that utility class of gap 4. So let's spiff that up a bit. Let's change this to 8. I think that should be 2 rem on a 4-point scale. 12, 16. I mean, we can keep going. But it's nice to be able to adjust that as we need. Maybe 12 is right. We are creatives. There we go. It's also capitalized. So let's come back over here to our H1. And we'll capitalize this. So text transform, right? Capitalize. Oh, uppercase, not capitalize. Cool. Let's also, in the hero section here, text align center. And in fact, are most of these sections centered? Well, they are in mobile. So, and they are on desktop. Whoa, except for a couple sections here. So let's do this. Let's create something we can use in our typography section. So we'll say text center. That'll be our default. Will just be text align center. And then we'll do text center left. And basically the idea here is once we get to larger screens, we would shift this over to the left. So let's do text. Actually, let's use that media min thing again. Pull this back up and we'll do text align is the property. The default value is center. And then when we get to medium screen sizes, we'll change this to left. Oops, and I added a extra one there. So now I can just use text center on most of everything. So let's actually just do that. Let's do it right here. And then, oops. And then let's also do it on the main for most things. And then we can overwrite it at a more granular level. And then I should be able to come back here to my hero section and remove this, and everything stays cool. All right, so we're going to call that good. That looks pretty close to what they've got here. Maybe that's a little higher up. I'm not going to worry about it. That's close enough. Next, we've got some sections. So we've got, this will be laid out like this and wrap reverse, and these will wrap normally. So maybe let's set up some utility classes for that too. And again, this is something I probably could use SASS for and loop through, but let's just do other utils here. We'll do flex. Maybe we'll use a little SASS here. So let's say flex wrap will be flex wrap wrap, and then flex wrap reverse will be wrap reverse. And then we can set each section up like that to work that way. Now we're going to have some H2s in these sections. 1, 2. Some of these will be styled differently so these will be H2s because they're the section kind of headers, but they'll be styled differently. So since we're already controlling the font size with that, these colors are going to be different too. Let's make sure we don't add anything to the H2 itself in our SASS. So we'll just add that in the markup itself, and that way we can keep the semantic stuff right without messing up any of our styling. Hopefully that makes sense. We've also got these sections, and they're going to have different colors on them. And I'm guessing that's when you hover, or all the time. See, do they show you hover states? They do. So they just are a little more transparent. And I know there's a way to do that in SASS with color mix-ins. I'm not going to try to figure that out right now because I don't remember how to do it. And we've already taken forever setting all that up. Medium text center on HTML, you write medium text center so you know. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's kind of Tailwind-esque. So that's a good point. Maybe let's do that. I like that. So we'll just do medium. Actually, and let's move all this up. So we'll do it like Tailwind. I like that idea. So I guess I can't really do it like that, can I? So let's just keep it how we had it. And here I'll say medium text center. Well, let me do that. And then, yeah, that should work. All right, cool. And then I can add that in later. That's a good idea. Yeah, so that's how Tailwind does it itself. So like I said, at some point you start recreating Tailwind, and that's when you know you're doing too much, setting up too many utility classes. I usually just set up really basic ones, and then like for text colors, some padding, some basic stuff like that, and then leave all the rest to my actual markup so I can go just locate it quickly. So that's what I like to do, but I know everyone has their own preference. So we've got a section here, and let's go ahead and we'll add our H2 here, and we'll call this, what is this? Where's my thing? Brand. Let's see, transform. So we'll just call this brand. And let's go ahead and grab the text down below here. And I've got a clipboard manager called Pastebot that I use that'll just allow me to sequentially paste this. So that's what I'm going to do here. And let's see how this works. It's all one paragraph. So let's keep this together like that. And then this will be our button text. Cool. Well, our link text. So let's come in here and add, first of all, transform your brand. And then I'll have a paragraph here. And this is one of those that we can use, that stuff that Tigray, I don't know if that's how you say your name. works, but let's do that. So we'll say medium text center. Okay, so that should work there. And then we've got our button. This is just our link. Let's give this a class though. So we'll do like, let's just call it link. I think that'll work. This needs to be an actual link though. And then href will point it to nothing. Okay, cool. Let's wrap, let's see, let's grab this right here and we'll do aria labeled by. And this points it to, it tells it that, hey, this is kind of a region on the page and links it up together. So that's what we want. And then we're going to want to wrap this with an abbreviation here. What we want is flex, and then let's see, flex, wrap, reverse. And let's see, do we need anything else? I don't think so right now. And then we'll wrap this as well. And we'll wrap this in a grid. And like a gap 4 or 3, something like that. We'll figure that out in a second here. So it's spacing some of that out properly. And then I probably also want some kind of padding on this. See, because I think the image goes, I keep going that way. I think the image goes full. Let's see, yeah. So the image is always full. So I just want padding on this sub element here. So we'll do like padding 4, something like that. And then let's call this like text group or something like that. And for all these text groups in our style sheet here, let's come back up here to our utils. We will add, let's see, I want this to be place items center. I think that's right. So that should keep everything in the center like it is over here. And then I also am going to set a max width on these two. So we'll do max width, and let's just do like 60 characters, something like that. And that's probably too many. We'll start with like 40 maybe and kind of go from there. I want it to cut off after specializing in. So let's just figure it out. So let's go back. Let's go to like 50. Hey, locked. Perfect. And let's double check that the utility class is working to left align that. What? Let's just make sure this is working properly. It's text align center. That's what I want. What happens if we remove this? Does it come back to the center ever? All right, so I messed up that media query somehow. All right, good to know. So we'll do text align. Let's figure out what I did wrong. So I guess all I really would need to do is just keep it at text center for everything. And then if I also have medium text align center, then add a media query just for that level. So let's do that. So we'll say right? Yeah. Media min width, and we'll do our medium. And let's see, I should be able to, I think I can nest these in SASS. It's been a little bit since I've written just SASS plain. Like I said, usually anything I use is just stuff I did like a couple months ago, and then I just copied to the new project. So at this size, what I want is text center just to go left. So let's just do that, and then I don't have to add an extra class anywhere. Oh, but I needed extra class. So we'll do, yeah, I do need an extra class, don't I? What am I doing here? Come on. Text, align, center. So I do actually need that. And everything will already have the center class. So yeah, that should work. Right? What am I messing up here? Well, I'll let you guys figure it out because it shouldn't be complicated. So, and I'll just keep going and let me know once you see something. Hey, welcome. Oh yeah, you're right. I did. got to escape that. All right. Thank you. I need you at every live stream, all right? That's our new role, because I've needed the help this whole time. And this needs to be left. All right, we figured it out. Cool. Well, thank you. All right, and now we should be able to use that also on that header. So actually, this whole section would need to be like that, not just the paragraph. All right, I knew it was something small. Okay, cool. So we've got that set. Let's go back to our 375. And let's add our image in next. So I'll come over here and inside this group here, I want my image here to be, now let's see, we're going to need the same kind of thing going on here. Let's see what would be the easiest way to set this up. Yeah, I do the same thing. I watch live coding like kind of off to the side. The best thing about watching people code live is whenever you're watching, you're always like, oh, I see what they're doing. And then whenever you do it, you never see anything. But that's just, you know, we're all coding live like that. I think talking through it too live slows me down like so much. But, you know, I still enjoy doing it. And I hope it's helpful to somebody. Like, that's honestly has been a super big help to me in learning. So I just try to pass it on if it's a help. And if I'm totally ruining your guys' jobs, let me know. We can stop this. All right, let me see. This is transform, image, transform, mobile, images, transform. Where's my transform? Here we go. All right, I think that's right. There we go. So we'll just call this like egg or something like that. Exactly, yeah, I know. All right, we also need to probably provide some more resets for some of those things. So let's come back up here. Where's our reset? All right, why is my reset here? Let's put this at the top. And then let's also add for image tags, max width 100%. And I'll do display block. Okay, cool. So that works. And it wraps reverse. All right, cool. Let's now come in here. Let's make sure we've applied our styling here. So we'll do font body. And then by default, see, why is that so thick? I grabbed the 600. What do I got here? Sources, elements, computed. Where's my weight? Barlow. Where is my weight? Font weight. Why am I not seeing this? Well, let's just make sure we set it here. So, font. Let's keep going. Heading. Font weight 600. Is that right? Yeah, it is. It just looks really thick. And it doesn't on this design. Am I using the wrong one? I don't think so. Huh. Oh, well. All right. Well, I'm not going to worry about it any longer. Let's come over here. And this one also needs... So this is font heading. Header. Oh, font heading. So I added it here, but not down below. So everything should inherit that font body. Now I should be able to come in here to this H2. Let's add some classes here. And this can be our large. And I don't want this to be text white. What do I want this to be? Whatever that color is. So let's come back up here to our colors. And neutral 1. What a great name. All right, text neutral 1. Okay, there we go. And I think that sizing is right too. Yeah, that should be good. All right, we'll see you. Thanks for joining. All right, I think, this is taking forever because we've mostly spent time in SASS, and I don't write a ton of SASS like I said, but I still hope this was a help to somebody. We do want these to be square, so let's do this. I think we should be able to speed some of this up a little bit here. So let's add some classes here. We're going to call this aspect square, because I'm pretty sure, I keep going the wrong way, all these are square the whole way down. So yeah, let's just do that. Oh, okay. And this will help us too with, let's change this to a div actually. Get rid of all this, and then we'll call this brand as well. And let's come into here, and let's find our utils. Let's add another one here. We'll call this aspect square, and we'll say aspect ratio square. All right, and then what I want to do is come down here and grab my, what was that called? Brand. And I'm going to set the background color, or background image. And we'll do the same thing that I messed up on a ton before. I'll grab this right here, and we'll say background image. Actually, let's just copy down all this and add it in right here. And we'll switch this out for, I don't need that. Oops. What I need is this right here. And we'll switch this out here. And that way we can switch between them, because I forgot we needed to do that too. And switch between them right here. And this will be desktop. I'm guessing those are named the same. And it should, background size cover, brand, let's see, aspect square, it should be taking up that full size. Let's also, I guess, we got to also add some width to it. So aspect, so we'll do width 100% maybe? No. I need to be width 50 view width, right? Because it's got to take up half. That should work. Let's check. How's it going? It's happening. It's going all right. Let's see, brand square. This thing has no height. It has width. It has no height. I thought I put an aspect ratio of square 16 by 9. All right, here we go. All right, so width. What am I doing? All right, so there we go. As long as it's 16 by 9, that should fill the whole thing. And I don't want this 16 by 9. I want it 1 by 1. Okay, we got this set. Well, that took forever. And it should snap over once we get to medium sizes. So I guess what I also need is on the flex children here. So on any flex children, we're going to have flex child set to this, since they're all the same. And we'll just say flex child. And at flex child, how are we going to do this? Yeah. So we'll say at flex child will be flex 1, 1, and like 40%, something like that. And we'll do that at medium screen sizes. So do I have a media query somewhere close? Let's just copy this over. So at medium screen sizes, we will do this. All right, cool. All right, so now it should snap over, right? Medium min width. Now I want it to be able to wrap. Boy, we're starting to hit dumb errors now. Min width, media, flex child here. Well, let's just finish the mobile. I'm sure there's something dumb. If you see what it is, let me know. Okay, so we've got those things set. This probably we want a little bit more height to match all this. See, that looks mostly right, and then I need to work on the styling. So let's do this. Let's come back up here, and instead of adding padding 4, let's do px4, and then we'll do py8, or maybe even more than that, maybe 12. And let's do a gap of 4, gap of 6. That looks a little closer. That font size still isn't quite big enough, but the way I set it up, I think we're gonna spend forever trying to get it perfect. Transform your brand, so maybe this will just need to look closer together than I prefer. So we'll call that good. That text needs to be, why is that so thick? Let's come up here, 600. Let's just reduce this weight. Yeah, because I think maybe they just gave me the wrong weight. I'm not sure. All right, and then let's come back here to our main tag, and we'll set a font neutral 1, something like that as the default. Text neutral 1, not font. 2, 3. I'm not sure which one of those it is. 4. That looks a little too light, so let's go 3. I feel good about that. And then let's also set line. Maybe let's just grab the main tag here. Do I have a main tag? Not yet. Let's come down here into our utils flex. Sure, this will work. Let's come below here, I guess, right here. All right, so we'll grab our main tag, and let's also set a, I should probably do utility class for this too, but let's see, line height. That's what I want. We'll do 1.5. And then let me grab my, where's my H2? H1, there we go. So let's grab all our headings here. So I think I'm just gonna have H1s and H2s. We'll set to like 1.1, something like that. All right, that looks good. And then we added a link class. So I think these are utils right here. So let's do this link. If you leave alt blank, I think you're right there. You don't need that. If you leave the alt off, it just hides it automatically, which is good to know if you're not adding ARIA or alt attributes, because that means nobody with assistive technology is seeing any of your images. I think you're right there though. So for this link itself, what do I want? Well, I want it to have, see here, I think we should probably just use the font family property rather than trying to add a bunch of classes, since we're kind of like half doing utility classes and half writing our own stuff here. That's kind of messing us up a bit, but font family. And what I want is this one right here. So I'll do a link. Here we go. And then let's see what else I want. I also, are all the colors always the same? Yeah. So we could do that dark color. So font, or sorry, color. OBR neutral. How am I going to do this? Let's just, if that's all it is, let's not worry about this. Let's use utility classes. Okay, since we already use them, let's just use the link just for that background. And then what we can do is do link red or link. Yeah, so we'll do link red here, since it's going to have a red background. Here we'll say font heading, and then we'll say text neutral 1. Okay, cool. So let's now come over here and do text decoration none. None like that. And then, see, or I guess, no, we want to fade that in and out. So see, there's a couple ways we could do this. Probably, let's see, could we do a box shadow with that, or just an after pseudo element maybe? So we could do after pseudo element, we could do box shadow. Border, can we get it to be rounded like that? So there's a couple things we could do. So let's just maybe do, let's do an after pseudo element. Oops, relative. And then the color doesn't so much matter. We are going to have different hover states on this. And we can just use opacity, I think, on that hover state. Let's also change the link size here to text medium, text small. Let's see, I think we actually need text medium on everything. I didn't set a default font size. That looks way too big now. What size? That's 21. So maybe let's do text small for everything and then text medium on the button. Those aren't exactly right, but again, I don't have the Figma file, so I'm just kind of guessing a little bit. Change the text color to have it look. Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for joining. Change the flex direction. I thought I did flex wrap reverse up here. If you're talking about these sections, but we'll get to that. I don't think we're going to get to the desktop because this is taking me longer than it should have. But so what I'm wanting is this background. Where's this? Over here. So I want that to be there all the time. And then when I hover, it's supposed to go to the solid color. So I guess that one's yellow too, on top of all that. So this is yellow. And let's go ahead and add an after element here. So I'll do after. And here what I want is content nothing. And let's do height of like 4 pixels, something like that. Background color of red just so I can see it. Let's see, what am I messing up? Oh, I need a width. Width 100%? No? Do I actually have, I do have my after. There it is. My height. Something that isn't right. Styles after before. Link after. What am I doing wrong here? Let's break this out. Why is it removing? What am I doing wrong? Well, if you see what I'm doing wrong, let me know. I think we're in the this should not be this difficult stage. But I'm going to go ahead and move on. Do I know of you? No, I do not. It'd be nice to learn. I am currently actively learning React, and I've been using it for several projects. I've never done anything on the channel with React yet. I think I probably will eventually. And Node, and let's see what else I'm learning right now. A couple other things, but the React is kind of the main thing I'm working on. And Astro I've been using a ton, but that's just a static site generator. All right, well, we're going to leave that alone right now because for some reason I can't get the after pseudo element to work properly, and I at least want to build out a little bit more of this page. So now that we've got this, the good news is hopefully we should be able to copy this down and do more with it. All right, so come back over here. This is going to be normal wrap, and this should all look the exact same. We just need to copy in the right text. So let's change this out, brand, and we're going to call this audience or something. Audience, since it's just giving us these kind of sections, that's all it is. This needs to be flex wrap. I can change out this here with audience. And then let's copy in the proper text from below. So stand out to the right. Audience will be our H2. That and that. And let's grab the H2 right here. Here's our paragraph text. Oh, hang with me. There we go. And then learn more should be the same. So this will be red whenever we get around to doing that. Stand out in the right audience. Now I just need to add the same thing down here. So for brand, now I can copy this down and have audience. And this should be transformed for both of these, should be changed to our stand out according to the other thing. Okay, cool. So now we've got 2 sections. Told you we go fast. 5 hours later. Okay, so now these next 2 sections are the same. And it looks like they're square here, and then whatever this ratio is here. Now, here's the thing. We're going to want to switch these out again on desktop or mobile. So maybe, I'm guessing this is just 100% view height on mobile, and it's not over here. Yeah, it's not quite. It doesn't look quite the same. So what we're going to do is do 100% view height for the section. Do this as a background image, and then we'll just add this text below, I think. Already labeled by points to, so already labeled by is going to point to this section. So this is saying, hey, this section is labeled by this H2. So you point it to a header, and that way, like assistive technology knows, this is, it's all about stand out to the right audience. That's what this section is about. So people can quickly jump around to regions on your page without having to read every single thing in it. If they're using assistive technology, and Google and other things will look at this and see like, okay, this is what the section is about. So it's important to add these, and you're pointing it to the ID of the H2 here. All right, so let's come back over here. The only difference is really is going to be, we're going to change the text color for all this, and the text size technically, I think, as well for this header. But the rest of that should be pretty much the same. So let's actually just copy this down again. Section here. We're going to have to shift around a few things because these are kind of separate sections, actually. Graphic design and photography. So actually, yeah, we're going to have to switch this around. So we're not going to be flex wrapping anything. This is not a flex child anymore. This is not medium center anymore. We will have an H2. We will not have a link anymore. I never closed out the tag. That's why. Oh my. All right. Well, you have problems sometimes. We don't need this anymore. Let's see. So we should be down to this div here. And this section is going to be, first of all, graphic design. Like that. And then, let's see, I think all the rest of that's fine. Let's copy in the right text. Right up here. Graphic design. And this stuff should be moving to large. And then we're going to change the color of all that to our dark green color, which I don't remember what that is. So I'm guessing maybe it's this. No, it can't be neutral 1. It's probably this dark green, green dark. Let's try that. So we'll say text, green, dark. Yeah, that seems about right. And let's see, is this all the same? I think so. So let's just do it on the div. So up here, we'll do it on the div. Okay, cool. Now this section itself is going to be a flex child. So we'll do flex child here. And then the other thing I need to do, let's see, let me check. Flex child. Okay, so that doesn't control the height at all. So let's also call this, what I want it to be is full height on mobile and square on desktop. So we'll call it aspect dynamic or something like that. That's a dumb name. All right. Let's look at our aspect ratios. Here we go. Let's copy this down. And, oh, that's not what I need. Just this. And what was this called? Aspect dynamic. So what we'll do is set the aspect ratio here. Let's use that shortcut again I was using earlier. I'll pull it up here so you can see. So what we want is the aspect ratio. The default is going to be initial. And then at medium, we'll change it to 1/1 because we want it to be square. Yeah. So we'll change it to that. Okay. And then the other thing I want is the height of the whole thing. So we'll do same kind of thing. Actually, let's just copy this down. And what we'll say is that the height, the min height, the initial should be 100% view height. And then on medium, we'll just go to initial. Okay, I think that works. So 100% view height. Whenever we get to medium, it should snap down to initial. Is that not working? Min height. Oh. It's because I still have dynamic 1/1. Oh, I got to escape this. Right? Nope, not that. Not that either. Is that working? Nope. Maybe I just need to 1/1. I think that works. Cool. Min query thing, I set that up at the beginning. Let's see where it is. I'll try to add a link to this in the description. I renamed it, but it's this media query in SASS, this mixin I found a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago. That's been a big help. Basically, you can write stuff inline like this and just give it the different breakpoints and tell it what to do. So I set that up. Change the text color, have it look lighter. I think I already did that. But that may have been before I did it. So thanks. I have the comments like all the way on the other screen, and I have to keep turning my head, and I keep forgetting to do that. So sorry. All right, so we're going to call that one good for now. I might need to come back and change that media query a touch. But okay, so here we go. Flex, child graphic design. I've got all that stuff in there. I do need to add, let's see, all of this actually can go up here. And then I can just get rid of this div altogether. So we'll just have all that live in the section. Because like I said, the section itself is going to be a flex child. So we'll have two of these here. And both of these will be wrapped. Let's see. Right here. And I'll do Command-Shift-P and wrap with abbreviation. And we'll do, both of these will be flex. And then I think it's just flex wrap. So that should work. Yeah, okay, cool. So they go next to each other at the end. I should probably also change that min width there when we get to desktop, but we probably won't get to it in this video anyhow. Now let's just shift around the second content here. So we got photography. So graphic design here needs to be changed to photography. And then let's copy this in and sequentially paste it right here and right here. All right, we're getting dangerous. Let's see. This is, I think all that's correct. Let's give this a distinct name. Well, you know what? We've got an ARIA label. Let's use that. So again, using ARIA labels doesn't mean you're adding extra stuff. It just means usually you don't have to add random weird classes. So we've got ARIA labeled by photography here. And then we've also are going to have the same thing for graphic design. Graphic design. All right, and then let's go ahead and grab this and bring it down. And right now we can just leave that in. That's fine. And do the same thing there. Well, that's dreadful. Cool. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I don't want to over that whole section. Yeah, I do. Do I have 3 sections? Oh, you know what? It's repeating. All right, let's do this. Let's just switch it out for the real one and then see what happens. So graphic design, I've got cherries. So that on my other screen I'm seeing is called graphic design. That makes sense. So we should be able to switch both of these out. Image, stand out. Whoa, there we go. Cool, I'll have to push that to the bottom, but other than that, that should work. And then this one is called, looking on the other screen, what is that thing? It's an orange. Photography. Okay, so it should be taking full height there, and when we get to the medium, it should be switching to snapping to like a square. Okay, so that is working. I think maybe I just shifted it, or I wasn't looking at it right before. Those things aren't wrapping, so we're gonna have to figure that out, but this is working. Cool. See, we should probably also have them take up so they shouldn't be moving that far over. Okay, let's stick to the thing. 375. All right, let's push these things down, and then we're not going to get to desktop anyhow, so there's no reason to me fooling around with that right now. Let's grab, I guess what we do need is actually to put all this in its own little section here. So forget everything I said. I do actually need just this right here. We're going to wrap this with grid and then gap 6. And then what I'll do is push this to the bottom. So I'll do self, let's just do align self end or something like that for all of these, for all 2 of these. And I'll grab this up here, go to the graphic design. We can get rid of this. And then let's copy this down below here. And I'm just basically splitting off these sections, and then we should be able to come over here to our flex. And then I'm going to add a line self end. Pretty sure that's what I called it. Yep. And we'll do a line self end. Well, because that's what it's called. All right, so if I did all that correctly, which I definitely did not, evidently, it should move to the bottom of the section. Oop. Flex. This whole child is moving down. Let's see. This should move it down. Let's get inside the section right here. Okay. That's what I want to select. It's moving to the... It's not moving to the bottom of the section, though. Oh, you know what? I think it's because... Let's grab this section itself. And... Does that have a display? Oh, I took my display grid off. So I could do align items end. So let's do that. And I'll come over here, align items end, be align items end. No? All right. This should, all I want to do is get to get this to move down to the bottom. So let's switch this back, and I'll just add grid to the top parent, and we'll call that good. Okay, cool. It's not down enough. I think that's because my grid class, I probably added extra stuff to it. Nope. Do I have text group? Oops. What does my text group do? I've got something that's placing items center. Aha! Text group. Curse you. Okay, so that's what I actually need to get rid of. Something was messing me up. All right, so let's do that. And then let's align items end. We should also be able to adjust this too. What if we add text group here? that pushes it down. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do it in the browser, and then we'll fix it once we get it set. So let's move this over to the side, just so we can see it in all of its size here. What I want to do is grab this text group right here, so this thing, and I want to place items end. Nope, align items end. And then let's see what else I got in here. Oh, come on. Align items end. That's not even showing up here to start with. Text center. And it's also a child, so that's where I want my line self end, which is what I thought I had done. Okay, well, so let's take our line items end. Oh, I changed it here. So let's just change this to items end. That's why. And then this can be align items end as well. All right. That should not have happened. I just forgot to switch the stuff over. Okay, cool. So we've got that, and it looks like those are all working properly. We've got these client testimonials, this grid, and the footer. Again, because we spent so much time on that SASS, some of this has taken a lot longer than it should have. Let's come into this next section, though, and we'll do an ARIA labeled by, and we'll call this testimonials. And here, this is going to be a little bit different because we're going to have 3 sections. We've got a header here called client testimonials, 3 sections, 3 little images. And so let's go ahead and do this. And the next section, I don't know that I'm going to have time for the footer. I'm getting dangerously close to my kids running downstairs. So when things happen, then it will have to end stuff quickly. All right, so this is going to be an H2, and this will be testimonials. And let's go ahead and copy some of this stuff in. So client testimonials, and we'll do the other sections here in a second. So right in here, and then let's grab an H2 from up top, and I'm going to grab a lot of this. We'll probably have to switch some of this around, but we'll do class. All right. Now this is a light color. And it looks like it's a much smaller size. So this probably needs to be like small, something like that. And then maybe this can be medium. Nah, it probably needs to be small. Okay. And then text neutral, let's do 4. I think that was our light color. And then this will also be uppercase. Is that what we want it to be? So I don't think we had a utility class set for that. So uppercase, yeah, we just had it in our H1. So let's do this. Let's leave it there for now, but let's also just add an uppercase. That will be text transform of uppercase. Okay, there we go. Let's get rid of this. Let's do it right. Come over to my H1, and we'll add an uppercase. Okay, so we got that set. Come back down to this section. We're going to need a bunch of these things. So flex wrap, that will work. And let's see, we probably do want everything inside of a container. So let's set that up properly. So we'll wrap this here, and we'll wrap it with a container. And then I'll paste those styles in here. Actually, no, I don't want that. We'll have another one down below this H2, and this will also be, let's see, this will be my flex. Yeah, this will be my flex. And then we'll have it flex wrap, and this is where all those testimonials will go. All right, cool. This section, we also need a couple other things. I guess it's the whole section that's going to need padding. So we'll do padding 8 like we did up above. ARIA testimonials. Oh, that's my ARIA labeled by. Wonder why it wasn't taking effect. So we'll do class here, and this is where we'll add our padding 8. Cool. Did I do padding 8 on those? Padding Y12, PX4. Let's do the same thing for all these then. All right, so let's go ahead and build out these client testimonials. We have an image, some description, a title tag, and then this. So client testimonials is the H2, which means all these need to be H3s. So again, we're going to have these as flex children. What we should probably do is name these, because the other one I just had flex child because it was splitting it in two, and maybe those should be flex 2s, flex child 2. So let's look for the flexed child spaces. So all of these, let's grab all those with Command Shift L. We'll change them to flex child 2, and I'll come over here to my flex child, and we'll set these to flex child 2. And then for flex child 3s, like this, we will have, oh, you know what we should do too? I think that's why we were having trouble with it not expanding. All these flex childs should have a flex grow of 1, which also means I could remove all this. We'll set this to like 28, and this could be flex, oops, this and this could be flex bases, because they're already going to have grow on it, which is not the normal. And then what I need to do is little heads. So we'll do image Emily. Images Emily. There we go. And we'll do Emily. I don't know. Okay, so there it's coming in. Let's see what we got down here. Sorry, I'm talking for 2 hours is messing me up. Come back up top here. Let me get some water. All right. And we've got paragraphs. So we'll add a paragraph here. And then this will be our H3. That's the gal's name. And then her role will be marketing director. Okay, so got all that set, and it's already in the middle because we've got everything in the middle like it should be. So we've got a couple things we can add here. Let's first of all come in here and change up this class here. Let's see, that should be the same, except we just need this to be font neutral 1. And again, the styling, see, that's pretty much the same. I guess it's not uppercase. So it's nice, again, to be able to keep those kind of separate from each other. Marketing director also needs to be a lighter color, so we'll do class and text neutral 4 for that, which I think is the same we have up top on the H2. Text neutral 4. Okay, cool. And now all we got to do is add a class to this. We'll call this avatar. And let's come down this way. Do we need to give this any other distinctions? Not really. We can just add padding here. Actually, let's do it on the whole section here. We'll do PY 8 or something like that. 12 to keep it the same as off the top. Looks about right. And then I don't think we need to do anything else. So let's come back down here. The nice thing with the SASS, even though it's really not worth it for a single page like this, like it would have been way faster just to write CSS and quickly get this whole thing out, is for big sites, you know, having utility classes like this set up makes things so much faster. But this isn't a big site, so it's kind of a waste of time in this. But since people asked for it, I figured it would be worth showing. So we'll do max width of like maybe 30 view width, and that way it'll be a little smaller on mobile. You get a little bit larger on desktop, kind of more towards its normal size. And we'll do border radius of 100, or let's see, yeah, 50%. And then let's go ahead and just see if it's margin, inline, auto. Yeah, well, let's just add that since we've got a utility class. We'll just add it directly in here of MX auto. Right? MX auto. Uh-oh, did we not set this up correctly? I'm not selected the right thing. Okay. I thought we had an MX. Oh, I don't have an auto. Yeah, I don't think I ever set that up. So let's come back up top here and we'll look at our margin, size. Oh, we've got values here too. So in addition to all these, auto needs to be auto. I may have ran into that earlier too. Let's see. Let's just double check that that's working. Padding, auto, PX. So if it was like PX auto, that should be the size. And that should be the direction. So I actually need this here. All right, now I'm getting mixed up. Direction, my size is here. Yeah, so I do need that. Auto, it just needs to be auto, I think. Direction, this needs to be, I don't need an extra direction. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now it's in the middle. All right, so we never set up an auto. All right, and if you missed that, that was at the beginning of the video where we set up all that SASS stuff. All right, so we got that set. I think all the rest of that looks right. This is a darker colored text than the default, so I do need to change that. So I can do that over here. I'll do class, text neutral. Let's try neutral 1. Looks about right, and I think these actually need a little bit more space. Maybe even as much as 2. And then these need to be stuck together. So let's wrap these right here. So we'll do wrap, and then this will be grid gap 2-ish. There we go. All right, so now we should be able to copy this down pretty quickly and get the other ones set out. So let's see, that div, that div. Oh, right here. Yeah, okay. So let's copy that down. Let's do 2 more times, and let's just paste in what we need from below. So this guy right here, Thomas S. Okay, and then this gal here. Cool. So right here, let's add this one, this one, this one. All right, cool. We got to switch these things out. So let's actually add Thomas back up this way. Thomas S, and we will change this out for, I'm guessing I have a Thomas. And then this should be Jenny. And this can be Jenny. All right, so just like that. I do need some gap between these. So let's come back up here. I'll do flex child. Where's my section? Right here. So let's do gap of 12. Separate those out. Maybe even a little bit more. Again, because I don't have the actual Figma, we are kind of guessing at these numbers. And let's maybe change this avatar up to even smaller. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So that's set. Now we've got these grid of images, and they're going to be just 4 wide. So since we set up our flex stuff properly, so we're actually going to have nested flex children. So this will be a flex. Let's see. It's always going to be flex, though. 50%. So let's just set up a custom grid for this. So let's come in here. And let's see. We're going to put this out of the main. We'll do an aside here because it's not really super crucial to stuff. It's not the main content. We'll have 4 images. So these will all be inside of a flex container with flex wrap on it and no gap or anything. And then inside each of these, we'll have the same thing, right? Yeah. Except they'll always be flex. And that's it. So they'll just be next to each other. And we'll have 2 of these copied down. And then we'll have an image. And this will point to, let me pull it up. See, are these different on desktop and mobile? I think they are. So I guess what let's do is let's make them background images again so we can switch them out easily in the CSS with media queries. So this will be div, and let's just call this, yeah, so let's do div image, image, and we'll do 4 of these. Okay, and then we'll copy these down to this section and this down to this section. All right, image 1, 2, 3, 4, those should all work. And then let's give these like just the class of image. I guess that works. And then maybe just for consistency's sake, let's do like a double dash for variant or something like that. All right, so I think that should all work. Now all I have to do is come in here and say my images. Oops. So image. Client testimonials needs letter spacing right here. Oh yeah, you're right. It does. Let's fix that. So I don't have anything set up for that. So let's just do this. Let's call this spaced, and then I'll come to my H1 and add that. So spaced, and then client testimonials. And we'll add space to this. Cool, thanks. All right, so next little grid section here, back to the SCSS. Our images here, they'll all be, let's see, aspect ratio. And to start with, they're going to be 1/1. But then eventually they're going to go to, let's see what we would need. Because then be stacked next to each other. So I actually need them to shift. So maybe let's just set a default height on the whole section. So let's do this. Let's grab our min query here. And let me get an example so I don't have to copy the whole thing down. We'll change this out from aspect ratio will be 1/1 to start with. And medium it will go to initial or something like that. I think that should work. And then what I need is my image 1. So let's nest this since we're in SASS after all. And we'll go 1. And let me pull it up on my other screen so I know what these things are called. Does it really matter what order they go in? No, it doesn't. But since I've got them over here, let me just copy and paste them in the order that I've got them off screen here. I just pulled up the folder that they're in. So this will be background. Oh, you know what? We need to do the same thing. We got to copy this down here. Okay. And what I need to do is switch this out right here. So milk bottles. All right, and then we'll go down all 3. And you know what? Let's do this. Before we do all that, let's make sure that this is always the case on anything with an image. And then we're not copying down nearly as much. We'll have a 2 and a 3 and 1 more and a 4. All right, milk bottles right here. Let's add this in, and this actually needs a JPEG extension. So does this up here. And then same thing here. Paste that in. JPEG, and then we'll paste this in. JPEG. All right, cool. Let's also then, let's see. Let's do these all at the same time. So I'm gonna grab right here. Can I do this? Let's see. Let's just copy that. Come into right here. Oh, they're different lengths now. So now I got to go in here like this. And like this. Paste that in. And then come back here and change this to desktop. Desktop. I thought I had different ones. Image gallery cone. Yeah, I do. URL, large URL. Well, it was working just fine a second ago. Okay, well, I guess let's do it the slow way. Since we already did it the fast way and that turned out to be slow. So let's change this to desktop. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I must have just, in all that selecting, misselected something. Desktop. It turns out the slow way is faster than the fast way. Desktop. And finally right here. All right, I'm starting to hear people rummaging around too, so it's just this last one that hates us. Huh. Do I not have a sugar cubes one? Maybe it's just named a little differently. Yeah, I think maybe it was just named differently. Image gallery sugar cubes, and this just says, it was named differently. Well, that's not my fault. Okay. So we've got all those sections there set up and ready to go. See if this media query is doing anything here for us, because I don't even see it at all. Nope, wrong section. Nope, still wrong section. Here we go. This is side. Flex group, image item, background image URL, ratio 1/1. It just decided not to show. I guess we do need some kind of height on this, right? So min height would be, let's do our 100%. Let's do min query, min height. Don't I have that somewhere? So let's go down to the bottom. We'll add this. And then this should probably be like 50 view height or something like that. On medium, but hopefully if we did something correct. Nope, we did not. So these should be flex children, I think, is the problem. So let's go into here and flex child is what I need on each of these. So flex child, and then right. Oh, because I set them 100% view height. I don't need that. What I need is 50. Okay, so because what I'm trying to do is set it, the min height here, 50 view width. So let's just set it to 50 instead of min height. Let's set the actual height. Right? All right, let's figure out what's going on. This should not be this difficult. Let's go 375. All right, so, okay, there we go. What I need is min width. Width. Okay. All right. So these should be flex children. They should be taking up half the space. Their width is 50 view width. They're growing. Aspect ratio needs to be set for them to show. That needs to be set. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here because that shouldn't be shrinking like that. 50 view width. There we go. Okay. Well, that was a fiasco. Okay, so we got that section done, and then it should eventually snap. And we would need to change this to like width would be. We also have a media query here. Okay, so here 1/2, or I don't know. We'd have to figure that out. And then this would be 25% or something like that of whatever the available space is. And this should probably be the same. So 50%. No, that makes it disappear. So yeah, this does need to be a fixed value like that. All right, so back to 375. Got all these sections set. We've got this whole top section set. We never got to the nav bar. Never got to the footer. Let's just finish the footer. All right, this should not be that difficult, but we'll see what happens. So let's see. It's stacked the exact same too. Cool. All right, so we should be able to do this quickly. Let's come down here to the footer, and we're gonna have the logo first of all. And technically this should be a nav as well, which means we probably need to go back up to our top nav and give this an ARIA label of like main navigation or something like that. And then this can be our secondary nav, and that distinguishes the two for Google and assistive technology. So ARIA label would be secondary nav. And we're going to put this inside of our footer. And let's come up here. All right, and then the other thing we've got going for us is all those utility classes still. So we'll have a background of green light, I think is what it was. And we'll drop those in there for now. Nope, not green light. Yeah, green light. That should work. BG green light. Well, let's also grab the nav up top, and let's grab this whole UL system. And right here, and we'll just copy this down. About services project and contact, because I think it's all the exact same. For some reason, nothing is showing. Nav, display none. Oh, I hid my nav, that's why. Okay, cool. So let's switch that out. Let's come in here to my nav, and I will call this instead ARIA labeled is main navigation. And that's what I will display none and all that stuff. Main navigation. Okay, so all this should show up. Okay, cool. It does. That's not light enough though on that green color. So let's come back up here to my colors. Green light. I mean, it's supposed to be that color. It does not look that color. Let's just change it. Still doesn't look right. Maybe I missed a color. Nope. It says footer. All right. Well, we'll just have to trust it. All right, so 41. Let's change it a touch. I can't seem to that's too dark. Okay. Now these other colors, everything else inside the footer will be my dark color. So I should be able to say text, green dark, and that includes those links. So we'll have to shift those around to get them to work properly. They also don't have font body on them. There we go. And then what else do I need? Above this nav, I'm going to have my link itself. So let's grab that from up top too, because I think we also had that up top right here. We'll add that right here. The difference here is, do I have a different SVG? Mobile. So I don't have a different SVG. So let's see if I can pull up the side here. Let's look at our images. This logo right here. Let me just grab all of this because it's supposed to be that same thing. And let's see. Let's add it directly in here as an SVG. And let's change this color to this right here. Okay, that works. All right, so we just loaded the SVG directly in here and switched it out. You can also, let's just leave it like that. All right, now all of this, including the nav itself, will be wrapped in a grid. Oops. Wrap in a grid with a gap of like 6 or something like that. And then let's come back up this way. In addition to that, I also want some padding here. Or I guess we could do this up top too here. We had padding Y. That's what we were doing on everything else. And then we'll do, let's do place. Well, let's see, how should we do this? Footer nav is what I'll call this. Okay, and then I'm going to come down below here to my footer. Don't have it yet, so we'll have to just add this. And I'll say margin inline auto. All right, this thing hates me somehow. Oh, no, that's not what I want. I want place items center. So place items center. Cool. And then I'm going to grab my nav itself here. That's for either of them. I want, because that's the, let's see, nav bar is what I want. Role of nav bar. No, menu item. Menu items. What is that called? Menu item, menu bar. Okay, menu bar. And I want the list style to be none. And margin 0, padding 0 if it's not already. And we'll do text center. All right, and then let's also go ahead and come in here and just, oops, add some stuff directly in the markup for this. So we'll do class. Here I want each of these. We're going to do a gap. Or no, let's see. Let's do it on these row of nuns here. 2, 3, 4. Class. We'll do a padding Y of 4. Separate them out. Maybe 2. Something like that. Oh, they're spaced out. About services and projects. So I've forgotten that. So let's get rid of this right here. All right, and then let's stack these up. That'll still work though. Maybe let's just change all these to padding 2 all the way around. And then let's make these, let's see, let's actually take this and just make it a flex. And then I come back over here in this style none, that all works. But let's now say justify content space between, because that should space those out. Roll menu bar, right? Oh, those are my LIs that are spaced out. Let's leave that alone. And then let's just add our icons and then let's go, because I've got kids running around upstairs already and I need to head up. All right, so our 4 icons here, these will just be links. So let's add them all down below here. So we'll do a flex and then a gap of 4. And then all these will be links to nowhere for now. And then let's add inside of here images. And this will be our images. And what I'm looking for is Facebook. And what else? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. All right, and then let's grab the ones right here. Space this out a little bit more so it's a little easier to see what's going on. And same thing here. All right, and let's see. Those look fine to me. Let's come in here, though, and call these like socials or something like that. And then down here, we'll say socials. And we'll do align item center just in case they're not. Yeah, looks like that Twitter one's a little bit different. And then, let's see, for each of these 2, we would need an ARIA label. So ARIA label, and this would be go to our Facebook, and this would be Instagram, and we got Twitter, and we've got Pinterest. All right, cool. So we're not quite there, but we're getting close, and we might have to call that good. Maybe a padding top of 16 or something. Give ourselves some separation. This, obviously, we never finished styling all of those. I guess what we could do is come up to our SASS and look at our link. Nope, that's not it. We want text. Let's just scroll up. I know it's up here somewhere. So we've got sizes, base. So what I want is my text colors right here. So what we would also need to do is to say color that works. But for all these 2, let's see the best way to do this. I mean, I can just say text and color name. And then under here, say if it's a link, or visited, then we'll keep the same color like that. Is that going to work? So this is being overridden there. Menu item. Oh, I didn't put the color on the thing. All right, Chris. This is when you're calling it done right here. Okay, so let's put the color on the right thing, which was these right here. So we'll grab the row of menu items. Oops. Here, 1, 2, 3. We'll do class, text, green, dark. Nope. Why is that not populating? This should have green dark on it, right? I'm at the top of the page. Okay. Let's do this at the bottom of the page where we belong. And then I think that is our signal that I have gone too long. All right, text green, dark. Hey. Cool. Let's also take these row of menu items while we're at it. And so I don't think I have one. So let's just grab these right here. And we'll say menu items. And these need to have text decoration of none. All right. And I think they're also font bold, font weight bold. No, they're just bigger. So we can change that in our markup if we want to. It still doesn't look light enough to me. So let's also green light. Let's change this a little bit more just so it's actually kind of readable. And I think that should work. Now we did have a problem with our links showing up properly. Let's see right here, these learn more links. And I'm pretty sure that's because I didn't add a closing paragraph. So learn more, a closing link tag. So for both of these, they need just a closing link tag. Learn more, closing link tag, or anchor tag. And then I can go back to my link here. Let's finish that up, and then really we're going to call this done. So I'm going to take my after content, nothing, and we'll set the width to 100%. The height to 5 pixels, the background color to black just to make sure we can see it. And did I still mess that up somehow? Link, after, learn more. And it's still not working. All right, well, I'm not seeing what the problem is. Oh, you know what? This needs to be position absolute. Maybe that was our problem all along. It may have actually added that for us. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that should have actually worked. And then I can say left 0, bottom 0. Maybe I'll do like 0.2 rem. We can do border radius, 100% view width for that banding. And then let's maybe take this up to like maybe 6 rem. There we go. And then let's change the color here depending on if it's dark or light. So what we'll do is say if it is red, then I want the after pseudo elements background color to be, see, and I actually don't think I have those accessible to me. Can I grab red colors? And what I want is my red version of that, but I don't think I can do it like that. I forget exactly how you do that. So let's just copy it down since I got to go and call it a day. So that's 1, that's 2. And maybe if we have time, we'll come back to this project. I don't know that I will. It was kind of more for showing setting up a whole CSS system like this. Oops, I copied in the wrong one. So there's my red. And here we've got my yellow. Like that. All right. And this one down here, up here should be yellow. Did that work? Okay, cool. Both these obviously need a z-index. Oops. Z-index of like -1. Puts it behind the text. And then we need an opacity of 0. Oops, not of 0. Like 0.5, 0.3, something like that. And then on hover, we'll change that up. So we'll say on hover, we want this to be opacity of 1. And then transition here, we'll do opacity property, 250 milliseconds, ease in and out. Okay, here's the magic. It stinks. That wasn't right. After, let's see. I need the after then to on hover, the after. Oops. Let's try again one more time. The magic. I present to you the magic. All right, cool. Well, I hope that was a help to you. this was probably mostly helpful just in setting up the whole SASS because it took forever to do that. It took probably 45 minutes. I mean, this should have gone a lot quicker anyhow, but I mean, this is live coding, so I feel like I'm always apologizing for how slow it takes, but that is just life. And you're probably faster than me, and if you are, great. And if you're slower than me, it's all right. It doesn't matter. As you can see, we're all growing and learning. But I hope that was a help setting up the whole system. And you can see that with all that SASS up top, we didn't write a ton of custom stuff down below. And by having all those utility classes, it allowed us to pretty easily take care of stuff. And we could have like put a lot of this stuff in a utility class. You know, anything with like a background image class or something could have had all this. So there's a lot of things like that even that we could have done to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. But I hope that was a big help. Thanks so much for following along. If you've been here since the beginning, then you deserve something that I don't have to give you. But thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. We all code better when we code together.